What's good, YouTube land? That Weird Collector here. Well, Earthrise is pretty much wrapped up. So, what do we have next? How about some? Plus a little bit of G1. Yep, it's time for probably my favorite line of the trilogy. It's Kingdom. And where else could we begin? Where else could we begin but the Mad Monkey Man himself, the big bad boss bot? It's Optimus Prime. Oh, but his box. First off, so there's a picture of a gorilla that may or not be a robot in disguise. Plus, honestly, of the three boxes, I think this one may be my favorite because there's bright colors. There, freaking all the references here. The golden disc, right there. Galvatron, Black Arachnia, freaking Scorponok, Dinobot. Yeah, Optimus Prime. Tigatron right there. Who else is there? RC, Bumblebee, freaking Cheetor. There's Rat Trap. There's freaking Rhinox right there. Unicron. There's oh, it's actually Megatron slash Galvatron. You can see the slash there. There's Beast Mode. There's our Megatron right there. I can't tell who he's fighting, but there's the Ark. There's so much stuff. Air Razor. On the top, you even have the Maximal symbol there. On the back, you've got product shots of Optimus Primal with a cloth, whereas it's not. Oh, there's even references on the inner lining of the box. I believe no, there's a. Wait, where is the reference I'm thinking of? But in the box, you have his swords, and you also have a character card. In this, because the original Beast Wars packaging with the eye, I swear there's a reference to that. Like, I don't know. I apparently I can't find it. Oh well. The eye on the original Beast Wars packaging. So let's get the swords off. And we'll start talking about the toy. Oh, and I might as well get the card as well. This thing. Apparently, this seems really stupid, but the cards are random. They're sort of character cards, but they're also have like something else. I don't remember what exactly I read. But this one is of Dinobot. It's a holographic holofoil, very nice, with the golden disc on the back. The thing that killed Dinobot in the show. It's bent, but it's not a particularly thin. It's a decent feeling cardstock. But yeah, apparently they're random, as we'll see the more we get into it. But here is the main man, or orangutan, or gorilla, whatever you want to call him. Here's Optimus Primal in his beast mode. Because if you don't know Beast Wars, it was actually meant to be like a follow-up to Generation 1, where these characters were meant to be like basically versions of the original characters, but that apparently that original plan got scrapped. So they were ancestors. They're ancestors of the original cast of characters sent into the past and live on, at least for the main series, they lived on the Earth millions of, like, during the age of caveman, essentially. And Optimus had to take the form of a gorilla because there was so much raw energon, they couldn't stay in their robot forms for very long. And this is his original look. And we finally have a properly well done Classics Optimus Primal. Because the last one we got was this guy, who is technically the same character but in a different body. Or, like, there's a lot to explain with Optimal Optimus that I explained in the video that you can go find somewhere. But, hold on. Well, first off, we got a repaint of this guy in this guy's colors, which was, I never picked up. But also, this guy's backpack does form an Optimus Primal robot mode, sort of. A sort of bastardized version of it, given what's right here, what we finally have. So, and then there was that Classics one. Was it Classics or Universe? I don't even know. But it was, looking at it, it's deeply flawed. And the original toy is highly inaccurate. So let's take a look at this gorilla. I like this gorilla. I like this toy. It's got some tiny flaws, but let's go over. First off, that face. I really like that face. Like, it's where are his eyes? There are his eyes. And it's also decently proportioned. It doesn't look too too huge. There is not that much robot kibble. That's really the only amount of robot kibble there, and that's fine. They couldn't cover it up completely. I do have one complaint in this mode. This thing, I can't find a place it actually tabs in. I would have really wished it actually tabbed in, because it just flaps. Like, it stays there, but it doesn't. It's not secure. There's also, I don't know how well you can see, there's texture, like actual fur. Well, it's not flogged, but it's like molded in plastic to give texture of gorilla hair or orangutan or whatever primate you feel like calling him, or feel like saying, no, he's this, man. So, I'm not going to go into articulation super much, because it is almost all the same. Well, actually, is basically all the same in robot mode. The only thing that's really unique to this mode is his head swivels and it rotates, and it kind of goes, it can go up and down a bit, and it looks really expressive given the face and the amount of like, it's small, but I do feel like it's good posability. And hilariously, I mean, first off, the not funny part, his beast mode toes can bend down. That's pretty much all the posability that's exclusive to this mode, is the head and those toes. And they've also included in the instructions, which ones are these ones are his, how to go from quadruped to biped in gorilla mode. Like, they legitimately were, right here, there's a set of instructions on how to stand him up in his gorilla mode. And it's, what's the best way to do this? Just fold his legs down. Just basically straighten his legs as best you can, and and fold his arms. And he can, how well can he can stand. And due to the given robot mode posability, he can actually beat his chest, which was the original toy's gimmick. While it's not button activated, it's nice that he can actually do that. So, another thing I have to talk about are these swords. Now they're nice. They definitely look like Optimus Primal's swords. But here's the problem. They don't have anywhere to go in this mode. Because the original toy was really big. So you could actually fit his swords down his back. They were hidden. He has a bunch of other gimmicks. The original toy that we will come across in different ways, but the only thing you can do with the swords is put them right there in any mode. That's his only storage for them. And that's really unfortunate to me. I understand that you've got limited space, like, limited space, limited budget. You got to make the toy as best as you can. So there ended up not being any room for the swords. I get that, but it just kind of sucks a bit. That being said, we'll talk about the posability in robot mode. So let's get there. Optimus Primal, maximize! So if you've ever seen this transformation, it is very screen accurate. So, well, if you've never watched the TV show, I guess you know. But basically, straighten, fold out the the shoulder pads, straighten his elbows, and we're going to come down to the legs. This point, you can actually take this panel, rotate it, flip it up, and that'll rest on his backpack. I like that. It's nice. It tabs in right there, somewhat securely. Like you'd gotta take a bit of force to get it out. So rotate the waist at that point. Gonna unpeg that panel, his butt flap, and you're gonna fold his legs down. There's a little tab right there that's gonna peg into the red kneecap. So just make sure it's lined up and peg it in, and then fold down his robot mode foot like that, and do the same thing on the other side. Peg the shin in, pull down the foot, and we're almost ready. The only thing that is the biggest, I'd say, at least the biggest visual change, is it comes with the chest. So the best way to do it is kind of just pull this backpack back, and while it's back, flip his robot chest bit, and then you're going to take this, rotate it, and then for the gorilla head, you actually want to rotate it like that, and bring it like that. And that's the best way. And then push the whole construct back down, and then push it into place. And there you have Kingdom Optimus Primal in his robot mode. And it's a really good looking Optimus Primal robot mode. It hits all the main aesthetic points. It's pretty well proportioned. There's not the only really new things. Actually, there's quite a bit of new, because you have the white exposed for his thighs, the tiny bits of white and red on his biceps, or up here, triceps, and you have the chest piece and the head, which they get right every single time with this guy. Definitely a really good looking Optimus Prime head with a bit of a flare. Where's I don't here. We'll compare it to, say, the Siege Optimus Prime head, so you can see it's kind of going along the same idea, just that Primal added his own flair, like the mouth, like, opening his mouth. I don't know if there will be variations of this toy with a full mouth guard, like a full mouth plate, but I do believe at times in the cartoon he had the full mouth plate, because I think the Masterpiece did a swappable head with the mouth plate, but I kind of like it broken up and having his blue mouth there, and of course the horns are different. But other than that, it's a really good head. Even the one thing they nailed they almost actually nailed on this version is the head. Given the mouth plate here is silver, so therefore it's inaccurate. But still, they really tend to nail Optimus Primal's head. Surprisingly, no maximal symbol that I can see on Optimus Primal. Maybe that's screen accurate? It's been a long time since I watched Beast Wars. And really, the only distinct memory I have from Beast Wars is actually, well, Optimus Primal's death scene in Season 1, which I'm not going to spoil more than that. But, if I can mark the paint a bit, it looks like the right eye there kind of needed a second coat. Like, it looks kind of duller compared to the left eye. Like, there's some, like, yeah, it's, how well can you see that? Kind of looks like it's either, like, yeah, it needs a second coat of red or something. And that's just Prime. But other than that, there's some minor paint chipping on that shin right there, but our thigh, but it's still, it's only a Voyager class toy. It's not a masterpiece. Articulation wise, now we can talk about fully. So head is on a ball joint. You don't really get much side to side bobble. You get the full swivel, and you can get quite a bit of upwards, which looks really good given certain angles. He kind of hits his nape a bit, so I don't know. You can get more. Yeah, you can kind of get a bit more if you turn his head to the side, like he's looking up at something, going, "Oh, that's just Prime." So fairly decent ball joint. Shoulders are on a universal pin swivel, pin hinge disc, so they can go 360 degrees. They can go out that far. I really don't like going back into monkey mode this loud. That kind of snap when you close the shoulder pad. It's uncomfortable. Like, it's, I don't know if it'll break, but like, it just doesn't seem like it should do that. And also, as a benefit, you get a slight bit of butterfly motion. You get that much. It may not seem like much, but it actually helps him go from, like, just, well, he can do that, but he can go a bit more. So it's small butterfly, but a butterfly joint is always appreciated. You do get a bicep swivel. Go out. Unfortunately, he's got a bit of that wizard sleeve kind of elbow where it just kind of looks like it's floating there, but it's deal withable. Wrist has a swivel, and a rare case for toys these days, he actually has opening hands. They don't open much. They go from that to that, but it's nice to see opening hands. Like, the last one was what? Optimus Prime in Earthrise had opening hands, but still, it's very nice to see. Uh, I tend to keep this butt flap up because if you keep it down, it can peg in, but then you're kind of limiting the hip motion. So if you keep the butt flap up, it's I understand why it's there. It's a bit of beast mode kibble to keep the beast mode looking good, but yeah, keep it up, and you can get unhindered waist swivel. Your legs coming down to Legsville. You get forward all the way, back, yeah, almost all the way. You get outwards, pretty much the full Van Dam, almost. Monkey got moves. It doesn't really look like you have a thigh swivel, but you actually do have about that much range of thigh swivel. Knee, you do have a double jointed knee, like so you can get proper double jointery, although it does kind of not look the best, but still he can do some. Well, it's not tiger knee. I guess it's a gorilla knee action. Or if you want, you can just bend the one and it bends that far. You also get a tiny bit of below the knee swivel. Don't really know why they felt the need to do that, but you get just a tiny bit outwards like that. You get that to that. It's not much, but I guess it's something. And the foot, while having joints, feels the most limited, unfortunately, because due to the way this guy looks, he's got that tendon right there. Well, it does have a ball joint at each end, so you can get your pivot on a little bit, just enough to actually be significant. Unfortunately, oh, that's why the cut in the thigh is there because you can't get much side to side with just the foot itself, and you also can't get much up and down because you get that much up with just the uh, front toe action because it for the transformation, but like you can't. It's I don't know. It feels the most limited, even though there are enough joints there to probably get all the walking poses you want. It feels unfortunately limited just due to honestly the design of Optimus Primal himself. Like I'm sure the masterpiece came up with a way to deal with that, but I haven't got the masterpiece. I would like a masterpiece Optimus Primal, but I just couldn't bring myself to buy one, at least online. Still, I'd love to at least check out the masterpiece Optimus Primal because from what I've heard, they're very good, although prone to paint chipping. So, last but not least, we have his actually second to last. We have his swords, which, if you want, can stow away in on his back. But what is a commander of the Maximals gonna do with swords on his back when he needs to fight? He does have enough posability to actually grab the sword from his back and couldn't quite get it in his hand, but basically there's a groove or a channel cut into his hand to facilitate holding the swords. And I definitely think that's what the original G1 Optimus Prime was missing: swords. It's unfortunate he doesn't have a. If there's one point of posability I'd give to him, it's a downward, a wrist joint. Because of course he has the side to side, but like a wrist bend would just make swordsman poses look so much more natural. He's really good at like having his swords at rest, but kind of having them active, it looks a bit like a bit stiff. So you can do the swords, but he does have one other trick up his sleeve. Literally, he does have a pair of double guns hiding in each forearm. So if you press this piece right in here, conveniently hidden, you raise it up here, and if you raise that enough, you get a double gun. And you do the same thing on the other side, you get another double gun. It's so nice to see this kind of gimmick live on in in today's today's toy. That's kind of a gimmick that's almost died off at like classics and universe. Yeah. Oh, put it on his back. Again, especially given classics and universes didn't have the best plastic, I could see why this gimmick was like this guy was saved for now because this plastic is really good. Like even comparing it to Power of the Primes, it feels that much. It feels so much better. But like, yeah, he's got his double arm cannons he had in the show. He doesn't have, unfortunately, the Death Metal Morning Star. Oh, ooh, that reminds me. I almost forgot his other gimmick that I didn't transform. It's actually, if I can get his head uh, hidden in here, are another pair of guns. His shoulder mounted guns, which in the original Beast Wars toy, the Ultra Class toy, actually had firing missiles that were also hidden in his back. Unfortunately, he doesn't do that on this toy. They're just shoulder mounted guns, as you can see here. But they do have pegs designed for blast effect parts. I don't have any effect parts on hand. Where are my effect? There. I see one. So you can actually, if you have enough of these, enough being more than one, you can make it look like he's shooting, which is really cool. Does he have any other places? No, he doesn't have any other ports on his body, and he also doesn't really involve the 5mm combat system. I feel like all the Beast Wars toys in this line don't do that, and honestly, I don't really mind because they're given the rest of the line, there are other ways to armor up your Beast Wars toys, as we'll see in those inevitable reviews. But as for this guy, I believe that's everything, and I highly, highly recommend this toy. Am I completely biased? Yes. Do I care? No. If you have any appreciation for this toy or this character at all, from the cartoon, even from the comics he's been in, they're doing a new Beast. IDW is doing a new Beast Wars comic book. I don't know if the first issue's out already or when the first issue's out, but I'm getting my hands on that Beast Wars comic book because from what I can see or what I've heard, they're not just retreading the TV show. They're doing new stuff with it, so I'm excited for that. I'm also excited for the rest of Kingdom, and we'll get to those reviews as soon as I get those toys, which will be right now because I have a couple more reviews to bang out. So thank you for watching. I hope you have enjoyed. Keep it Prime. You can never tell with Optimus Primal whether, well, most of the time that's just Prime was a sign of a bad thing, but you know what? Never mind. Uh, I Optimus Primal. How do we wrap things up? By beating the crap out of some Predacons. So until next time, keep it weird. Bye.